Okay, hello everyone, and welcome. This is a live event, Hangout on Air, with the TEL community, the Teachers for Interactive Language Learning community. And today we're talking with Michael Williams, and we're here to learn a little bit or discuss a little bit more about OpenCourseware. And I know I'm interested in what Michael's doing with some of the stuff he's working on with his website. And so, hello, Michael.
How are you doing? I was just opening up a site here. Let me go back to the screen. Okay. I could probably introduce you to what I'm working on. I started 4 years ago in a learning management system that was a shareware type of a thing when Moodle was still in infancy a little bit. And I started. I'm an engineer, and I could have went ahead and developed my own LMS, do all the programming, but I opted to work on how should I say this, on the content and users and beta test. And so 2 years after I started, Coursera started. And Coursera had a couple courses, and at present they have about 650 courses, and 6 courses you get college credit. And only a limited amount of the courses are available. The rest are either in session or offline. And I decided to go with a different model. And before they started, of just having a self-study at your own pace. And I have 760 courses and 170 courses that align themselves with the college test-out programs from the College Board, the federal government's DSST program, and NYU's SCPS program, along with other testing facilities, where a person can get their college degree from a regionally accredited university in New Jersey, Thomas Edison, or a regionally accredited state school out of Connecticut. And there's also a private school that will do both bachelor's and master's program with transfers, test outs, and basically hacking. One guy got his bachelor's in business administration in 6 months for under $5,000, which include test fees and textbooks. And while he was waiting to get into his master's program, he got 2 more bachelors. One girl earned 89 units in a month. Now, NYU has a program, 50 languages, which you may be interested in. If a person speaks at 3rd grade level, reads and writes and speaks in 3rd grade level, in one of 50 languages, NYU has a 2-hour test where you could earn 12 units in 2 hours in that language. If you take an additional hour where you're writing a 250-word essay, you can earn another 4 units. So you can earn 16 units in 3 hours.
Okay. Wow.
In 50 languages.
Okay, so the accreditation process, is that also part of the services that you're offering within your website, within your service, or does that come outside your website?
All of the testing is done by the College Board, the Pearson Group, which does for the federal government's DSST program, and NYU. And so what I do, if you take any of these tests without any kind of support, you're likely to fail. So what I do is I bring in all of the college courses that align themselves with these tests, and in the case of the CLEPs, I have 29 CLEP tests of the 34, which are retired questions from former tests at the end of the course that you can take to see whether or not you can pass. And I'll do that with the DSST and then eventually the NYU SCPS program.
Okay. So, so of all the tests, I'm curious, and I was looking over. In fact, I just signed up for your. I logged in because I was curious as to what I might find once I logged in, and I was looking through the course offering, and are all of the courses that are being offered that are displayed in your website, those are all active courses. That is, people can sign up and begin taking them whenever they wish. Is that true?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now
So,
I have. Good. I have listed the courses that I have gone. See, when I originally put them in, some of the materials weren't available, like the syllabus or the textbook or homework or assignments. And I put as much information as I could find. And then about a year ago, I started to publish them through Mooc List, which is, I'll show you, I'll share the screen here.
Okay.
Just gotta figure out which one to do. Not that one, not that one. It's gonna look kind of. Okay. Okay, something happened. Let's see. Did that show up?
Yeah, I see the Mooc List.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is. You see some of the initiatives, like you have Coursera here towards the top. 639 courses that they've listed. And then World Mentoring Academy, of the 760, I've listed 89 so that they could be reviewed. And so this course is Spanish, blah, blah, blah. And if you click on it, so people actually voted for it. Then you give information on it. Self-pay, self-study. It says here the certificate of prepares you for the CLEP, 3 to 6 university credits. That's through the College Board, or NYU's 12 or 16 university credit test programs. And so you have all of the stuff and where it comes from there. And in some cases, like for instance, our Mandarin course. And so I list primarily languages because Coursera is kind of more towards tech. And I figure everybody in the world needs to speak at least one language. And so I went for languages first, where I went through and cleaned them all up and made them better than they were before. So I'm going to show you another. This is Mandarin. It'll take a moment for the load. But in this case, you can also have a introduction to this course, and this is a volunteer who does Mandarin, and it's an introduction to World Mentoring Academy's course.
Okay, so you administer this website, this mooklist.com?
No, that's somebody else.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I just.
So you're offering your same courses in this website?
Oh no, what I'm doing is I'm publishing them. In other words, what I do is when I feel ready that I can get, reviewed, then I submit the course to this massive directory that a lot of people look to for more MOOC courses.
Okay.
Right. And so what I do is I go through all the courses and I bring them up to par.
Okay.
So that I don't get like a 1-star.
Okay.
Like this German, I've got 2 votes, and I'm at 9.5, which is which is not bad. And I didn't even vote on this one. I didn't give it 10 stars. Other users did. And so,
Okay,
you know,
and
every once in a while,
then you move eventually. Then you move these courses into your own website. Is that the idea?
no.
No. Okay.
Okay.
I guess I'm confused because you've got the website World Mentoring Academy, correct?
Right.
Okay,
And
so
this Mooc list is a directory of all of the courses available in all the MOOCs around the world.
okay.
Okay. And I list, this is like a catalog. I list all of the courses that are available, that are ready to be, you know, under the ridicule of reviewers.
Okay.
And when I'm ready to list some more, then I put them up. But all the courses on my World Mentoring Academy are active right now. It's just that I don't promote them so that I get reviews. I want to make sure that when I get reviews, that I get good reviews, not bad ones.
Right, and all the reviews come from the Mooc list, correct?
Yeah, come from users of Mooc List.
Right.
I think that you can even do it yourself without even signing in. So you can even anonymously vote.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to one of my courses. This is a French course. This is, when I put ML next to it, it means multilingual. So it's not just English students, but also other people can use the course. You don't need to speak English in order to learn French. So this is a teacher's council. I have all the controls like developing content, do projects, test quizzes, send feedback forms to students, schedule things, a forum, frequently asked questions. I can get messages from students and send them messages, and then these are reports on how they're doing. And then any announcements, professors and administrators, and then the calendar along with any messages and forums and recent unread things. So I'm going to go into the content. Whenever a course aligns itself with college credit, I have this first page of college credit study resources. Okay, this is a description where people can actually get a bachelor's or a master's, and they can be from anywhere in the world. They don't have to even be in the United States. So if they have a degree that's not recognized in the United States, they can basically launder their degree by taking these tests and getting a degree from the United States without having to go another 4 or 5 years. This is the College Board's test. If I click on this, it'll take you right to the page for the College Boards on college compositions. You can sign up for the test here if you want. And they're register for it here. Okay. All right. And they even have some sample, some short sample quizzes that tells you what this CLEP is. 40% revision skills. 10% standard written English. And this is for the college composition CLEP. So every link on here goes to one of those pages. Okay, and this is the College Board. The federal government is here. This is $80 and 27 lower division and 11 upper division, junior senior level. And these also go to individual pages. If I click on, say, astronomy, and this is from getcollege.com, which is Pearson Group. That's the sample test. Okay. Then we get to the languages like NYU's program, and these are all the languages that you can earn 12 to 16 units. Okay. And the ones that have asterisks next to them are the ones that I have courses for. So if I go here, this is NYU's program. You can sign up and do all that stuff like that. Okay. So
if you want to take, let's say that you want to take one of these courses that you offer, then you can go into your website and take the course within your learning management system there, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So this first just tells you all of the ones that we support. Okay.
Okay.
And then we have study aids like the College Board, the REA, such, and then additional study groups that have been doing this for 20 years. You know, students that have been doing this. As you go all the way down, study all this stuff. And then you have the remote control type of stuff where you get college credit courses, right? Like at California high school, students, this one right here, where is it? Right here, Cal State Dominguez Hills allows high school students in California to enroll in 2 university courses through distance learning each semester and earn up to 6 units of college credit for $3.50.
Okay.
So by the time you graduate from high school, you can have 8 courses for $14.
Okay.
$8,000, basically $8,000 worth of college
Right.
for 14
Okay.
bucks. All right. So I have a bunch of these.
Good.
Yeah, there's a lot of other ones too here. Some have state requirements. Some you can be anywhere in the world and get. So I give us, this is kind of like, there's literally more options towards college credit, but I kind of minimize it there. Now we go into the actual school, the French course. But I put this in front, this particular page in every course, so that the dummies know that they can get college credit if they want to.
Okay.
Right, and we'll just have to go through it. So when I do how to learn languages, what I do is this course relies on the following. Do this language course, attend G+ Hangout schedules. So if they click that, it brings a list of all of the various different Hangouts happening this month. See? Right?
Okay.
And then I provide another one.
Okay, let me interrupt you here and ask, like the courses that you offer within your website, are these self-study courses, or is there a facilitator there that assists the learning process, or because you're talking about Hangouts on air, so who's conducting the Hangouts? Are the teachers that are
native speakers?
Okay, so they're native speakers, but not necessarily affiliated with the course necessarily. It's just some
not necessarily.
Volunteers who choose to talk with others learning the language. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay, so are your courses on your website all self-study?
They can be used in self-study, or they can be used in conjunction with a classroom if a teacher wants to take his class through it. Typically, the thing I have an idea is that, say for instance, a parent is homeschooling their children.
Okay.
Right. The CLEPs, the DSSTs have no age requirement, so literally, elementary school kids can earn college credit.
Right.
Okay, and that's when a sixth grader gets college credit, they have a sense of investment.
Sure.
So this is a list here of which adjusts according to your thing, and you can tell what hangouts are happening. Like this one is a German hangout, beginners. Okay, so I provide those 2 different things, and then I will also provide. I can get it. I haven't inserted this yet, but this is that spreadsheet that I don't know if you've seen it or not. Have you seen this one? Oh wait, you can't see it. I'm not sharing it. Hold on. Can you see it now?
Yes. In fact, yeah, I did take a look at that. I saw that from the main page from your website, and in fact, I added some information there. But yeah, I saw that.
All right. I just started this about 2 weeks. This particular spreadsheet 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
We've got a lot of information just for having started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, 350 teachers.
Yeah.
And so you have, you know, the blue represents, in this particular case, I wanted to color code it, this particular time zone, their native language, Gmail, with the screen, Skype screen name, their G plus profile, their time zone, the city, whether or not they'd be willing to do meetups or coffee shops with other teachers. Their native languages to speak, what they're learning, and then somebody changed this, but anyway, I'll have to change it back. That's the thing, when you ever give an editable link to anyone.
Yeah, yeah, that's going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had one time somebody he deleted the whole sheet. And then
well, the good thing is you've got the revisions. You can easily go back. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is that then you have to, if there's other people that did stuff after them, then you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to catch it fast enough so that you can hopefully change it back before somebody makes additional changes. But.
Yeah, that's not a big deal. I can just change that easy.
Yeah.
So then any website that they may have or blog, and whether they want to do Skype Hangouts or pen pals or blogs, and then if they're available for weekends.
Okay.
All right. Then on this is the important part. I start with a 24 hours, so at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they could put what they're teaching, what level. It's determined one from 8:40 to 10, right?
All right.
And so they go through, you know, and put their class schedule, what they're teaching that particular hour, okay? And then they could put, yellow means open hangout, which basically means it's not a classroom. It could be native speaker with anybody that wants to join. And then officer tutor hours are times when people, they don't have an official hangout happening, but they're available for one. And then pink is not available. Green is only for classrooms. So if a teacher wants to do classroom to classroom, then all they have to do is go up and down this column, say Spanish 1, and they don't have to worry about other people's time zones.
Right.
Right. So they can go all up and down the line. It says, okay.
So it's just a matter of trying to coordinate, in this case, classroom schedules that correspond.
Right.
And to the same hour, so that you can be online at the same time to have
right, and the same subject. Now, what's cool about this is, you know, say you got a Spanish 1 class. There's two ways of doing it. One way is you have Spanish 1 against another Spanish 1 class, and you have a language bowl within, you know, city to city, state to state, or country to country. And it spurs, I think that it might spur the classroom on to have bragging rights for that week or month. And so they might all actually get together to, you know, to have informal language bowls.
Right. Well, and you can also, and this is what we've done here at the university. I work at a university here in Mexico.
Yeah.
And so we have English, you know, we have students who are Spanish speakers learning English. And we team up with other universities in the U.S. who college students who are learning Spanish, and so we do something similar, or we've done something similar where we match up our schedules, but it's not the same course per se. It's one group, in this case, learning English, the other learning Spanish, and so we take 1 hour and they help each other. You know, we may do a half hour speaking in English and then another half hour speaking Spanish. But that works.
You see this guy? Yeah, you see this Cassie Burgerstoff. She's doing a Spanish 2 class, and you see this English above.
Okay, right.
Right. Jason's group.
So that would be just an example.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. In other words, we go down to the say Spanish. Okay, these are Spanish native speakers that are learning English in
Okay.
Bogota, Mexico City, Bogota. Okay, Mexico, various different places, Colombia. So any of these people that are learning English, see, there's first grade English math, so they go up and down here and connect with any of the Spanish speaking groups.
Okay. Let me. I
As
got another question here. So, looking at all of this, the spreadsheet, and getting volunteers together to coordinate these different groups, are these same people tied in directly to the courses that you offer on World Mentoring Academy, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. I did it for the common good.
Oh, okay.
So those people in public schools, private schools, colleges, middle school, self-starters, self-learners, self-teachers, mentors, teachers, and
Okay. So the spreadsheet's open to anyone, regardless as to whether or not they are participating in your website, correct?
right.
Okay.
In fact, there's no advertising on this on the spreadsheet of World Mentoring Academy.
Okay.
Through the times of working with each other, they may say, "Oh, you actually have the Spanish test for the CLEPS. Let me have my students take it." And over a period of time, they will begin to know me.
So were you primarily the one involved with designing the courses, or are you working with uh, other teachers, professors as to the design?
No.
How does that come together as far as the design?
Right. So I'm going to go through it. I'm going to show you a couple more things on this learning before we get to the actual course.
Okay.
All right. So we then have we have virtual. In other words, Skypes, Hangouts, and pen pals. Another way I do it is I provide a link. As you can see from here, I provide this link to free meetups in French within 50 miles of wherever you're at. And so you have quite a few people for coffee, dinner, movies, and things of that nature where you can speak with French, Mandarin, Russian within so much, many miles from your home.
Okay.
You can see there's like 60 or 70 of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah, I see that.
Right.
So these would be like face-to-face meetups. This would be actual physical. Okay.
Exactly. All right. So then I provide a variety of other things too as well. Then I provide free dictionaries, phrase books, grammar books, and then I provide additional study guides, and then cultural connections where I have newspapers and magazines in those languages, and they have links to all of them, plus radio and TV. So you can watch streaming French TV or radio or any of the other, they're all specific to that particular language. Now I'll go into the and in many of the courses I actually have history and cultural. So I'm going to go into the FSI. Now the FSI is the majority of my course materials. The FSI, are you familiar with it?
No. What is that referring?
Foreign Service Institute. It's a part of the State Department, teaching embassy and diplomats reading and writing and speaking for the embassies.
Okay.
And it's public domain. And Pitzler and the Rosetta Stone is based on this material.
Okay.
Right. So I have two French courses. I have a quick and easy one, the Metro Fast, which is this one right here, and then I have the FSI here. Okay, which is the one I'm going to go through. I'm going to show you the more extensive one. So if I click this, the audio player will start off saying, La classe commence, and then there's a pause where the student can repeat the French. If they click this and click the record button, if you're familiar with Baracaro,
Right.
then you allow the mic, and you start off. S-A-U-V. S-A-U-V. So you do that, and then typically yeah, see my, what do you call it? My mic doesn't work. Sorry about that. But
No,
yeah,
okay.
if the mic works, you know, my mic on my headset,
Yeah.
then, you know, you can listen back to hear the instructor's voice and your voice for correct pronunciation. Okay, so anyway, you have all of this here, and I'm going to show you one course. Okay, this is one course, or one lesson. Okay, so that's one lesson. Okay?
Okay.
You multiply this lesson by all of these on the right.
Okay, so those are all the lessons for the course.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then at the bottom I will have a full CLEP exam. Timed and everything. I can show you a timed one, you know, in one of the other ones.
So on each, so this is one, what we're looking at right here is one complete course with individual units for the entire course, correct?
Right. What we have here is, you saw this is one lesson, and here's all the lessons.
Okay.
And it represents probably 3 or 4 years worth of French.
Okay. But you're packaging all of this as one course, correct?
Exactly. When it could actually be considered, you know, 4 or 5 courses.
So
but it's one subject.
Looking at this course, do you have a designated number of hours associated with this complete course?
No. I could do that. One other thing I want to show you that might kind of blow you away a little bit.
Because, well, just to interject here, the reason I asked about the hours, because I'm looking at it from the perspective, like in my case, when I take continuing education courses, which is a requirement to work at the university, you're asked to, you know, you have to submit courses with so many hours, right, of credit or whatever. So it might be useful at some point to consider having the number of hours for each course for those who are, you know, are working in terms of hours as far as trying to continue courses, taking courses for their own professional development.
Yeah, what I may do is I may do, okay, the Spanish 1 starts, you know, January 1st. And we take a group of people through the course in, say, so many months. Right. Just like Coursera does. Because I can publish in the directory 2 different ways. One, self-study, and the other way as we're going to take and guide along like Coursera does.
Yeah, because even self-study, you can usually associate, you know, so many hours, right? Yeah. And I know Coursera, they assign hours towards, you know, their courses, so it kind of gives you the idea about more or less the time investment that goes into a particular course.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you saw what I just did.
No.
See that? Is it too small?
Well, I see something pop up, but are you right-clicking on something?
No, look where my cursor is.
Okay. Okay, you get a pop-up. You get a pop-up, but it just...
No. What is this column? What is it, English?
That's well, it looks like Spanish to me.
Exactly.
So it's what, from French to Spanish?
Spanish to French.
Or yeah.
Okay, what I just did. Okay, I have to do this. See,
Oh, I see.
here's
I see
the
what you did.
original, right? Sit
Right.
down. The class begins, right? Okay, what I just did, I'm mimicking as if another browser comes to the page. Let's say, for instance, a Chinese person comes.
Okay.
Do you understand what that does?
Yeah, you're just changing. You're translating the well. You're translating the translation from French to different languages.
You know what I'm doing? The audio is 98% French. It's immersion, like ESL. The audio is 98%. The French is frozen, so you're still learning the French words
Right.
and write them. The reference is now turned to Mandarin. So somebody who does not speak English can learn French if they can write in their language, Mandarin.
Okay.
So the FSI was English to 54 languages, and with this little tip of HTML, I am able to teach non-English speakers French, Russian, Arabic, all of them,
Right.
without having to know English.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
That's nice. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And for short terms, the browsers will get it pretty close. Whatever browser they use, the translation will get it pretty close. And that's what I show in here. Is this the French FSI, not Metro, is set up to teach non-English speakers French. Portuguese example. So I simulated Portuguese on the right here, French here. The audio is 95 to 98% target language, this language here. And you can move along without knowing English. I could do the same thing with English, all right, where you have English here and English here. This English is frozen, and this English floats. So if you're Mandarin, you have it written here, the audio would be all in English, and the English, of course, would be frozen here, and this now turns into Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, Mandarin. So you could basically teach English as long as those people can write in their language.
Right.
And so you could turn this little trick into English as a second language.
Okay.
I haven't done that yet. See?
Right.
So it's a little trick I discovered. I stumbled upon it. And they said this represents 8 to 9% of my courses. The language.
Okay. So looking at these courses, and I want to kind of go back to the teacher aspect or the design of it. So, like, are there students that, like, let's say that they want a teacher for these courses? Can you make that arrangement, or is it just self-study? Do they just progress throughout the content themselves?
Well, what they do is they connect through the Hangouts with the native speakers in the G+ Hangouts, whether they be tutors or just learners like them, and they exchange.
Okay.
They exchange. You teach me English, I'll teach you Russian. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
And
so,
now to prog them along, we don't have a teacher to prog them along. This is not required. Like if a person goes to college, they're required to go to class. This is, and even Coursera is not required. That's why you have such a fallout rate. It's not required. Now, if they anchor these, people operate best when there's a deadline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they sign up, say they sign up for the French course from the college board, right? They sign up, clip. They can earn 6 units from this French course. They sign up for it. They go, oh no, I've signed up for 2 months from now. I better get my butt in gear and finish the course, or I lose $80. And so you can anchor the courses. Students can anchor their courses with the test.
Right. So basically, the difference between the courses that you offer and, let's say, courses like offered in Coursera is that in Coursera you have typically someone or a group of 1 or 2 teachers associated or to that particular course. In your courses, there is no one teacher specifically designated to that course, correct?
Okay, I have never taken a Coursera test course or an edX course. But from what I understand from students that I've talked to, the teachers hardly ever speak to people. They're just, the classes start and there's a deadline. So everybody has to take a test on this day. Okay. And occasionally a teacher might get involved in the forum or a hangout, occasionally. But they have 50,000 students. They can't talk to all those students. Besides that, they're not really paid for that either. I think they're given like $2,000. And potential of getting a revenue stream if Coursera makes money.
But let's take that one step further. In Coursera, my understanding, or generally, I'm using the example Coursera. Most of these MOOCs where you get credit work similarly. That if you sign up and typically pay, then you typically receive some form of feedback or assessment throughout to verify that you completed the course, basically. So how does that translate in the courses that you offer? Let's say that you want, I know that your courses are anchored to specific external certifications, but is
college
there
credit.
College credit. So, but is there let's put that aside, and let's say you're not interested necessarily in the official credit, but you do want to have some form of assessment. There's nothing really in the course itself for that, unless you go to the Google Plus volunteer group where you can interact.
Or go to meetups for coffee.
Right, or meetups.
Or do hangouts or chat online. The newest version we're about ready to ship this month allows chatting, text messaging back and forth. And a couple other options that this software is 4 years old. And so we're upgrading to that. So there's more interactive. You have forums that they get involved in. They can instant message and chats in the next version, but they can also email back and forth amongst
Can they do, maybe you already said this, can they do Skypes or live chat within the learning management system?
Yeah, right there, see?
Well, but I mean like Skype or Hangouts, but within the actual...
Oh, no, not within.
Within it, okay.
No. I can probably do that later on with an iframe.
Right.
Make an iframe in the text, in the document, and just they click something and it automatically does.
Yeah.
In other words, an embedded hangout. I can do that.
Right.
I'm going to put this document in an iframe on each of the language courses. But this isn't just for languages, it's also for science, geography, history.
Right.
And then eventually it'll be, I'll break this list out where you have all of the people that are either mentoring, say, for instance, a poli-sci course, and all the students. So this list will be broken up Right now it's just it's all together because it's only 350. But I'm going to break it out to courses like French course, Italian, or biology 101.
Okay.
And then it's very easy for me to shift this course into a start time and a start date. I could just go up here to information and shift it immediately. Edit conditions. And then from here, I can have a start time and an end time. Completion rules, transversing rules, all that. That's how easy it is. Just turn this into a course.
So if someone were to sign up for your website, create an account, join, and want to start participating or taking part in some of the courses that you're offering, are they all free, or do you have different levels? What's your pricing scheme?
This is completely free.
Okay.
There's no advertising, as you notice on the sides. There's no banners. There's no upcharges. It's completely like Buddha or Jesus. Now,
okay, go ahead.
Okay. This does not disrupt the regular educational department, and I'll tell you why. In the United States, student debt was in 2004 was 350 billion. Today, it's 1.2 trillion. So in 10 years, it's quadrupled. According to a report that was just put out about a couple of months ago from Harvard, one of the research facilities, they said if this continues at this particular pace, then it'll eventually break the financial model. And future students won't be able to get college loans. If that happens, according to Harvard, 50% of the universities have been around for 200 or 300 years will close. Professors will lose their jobs. Now, the only way to keep a bubble from popping is you don't blow any more air in it. So what you do is you don't put any more air into it so it doesn't exasperate it. We have a meltdown like the housing market or financial market. And instead of students graduating with $40,000 in debt, they graduate with $15,000 and keep the professors' jobs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to sell me on that. I mean, I'm all for, a mix of open educational resources with traditional forms of education. I mean, I don't see it as all or nothing or completely, different ways of learning. I think it's all. I think the future really is mixing, informal, open educational resources and open courseware of this type and integrating it with traditional forms of education. One other question while you had the screen up, the screen you had up is, so if you create an account, is this the screen you're gonna see?
No, this is the teacher screen. So let's say, for instance, you sign up and say, hey, I'm interested in mentoring or kind of watching. Then you see this screen.
So they have to contact you directly if someone's interested in being a mentor?
Yeah. And they say, let me know what. See, it doesn't break down, at least in this version of software, it doesn't break it down by individual classes. It breaks you down in foreign languages. So you'd actually be, you're exposed to all of the foreign language courses as a teacher. But you only have to do, French, for instance, or Spanish.
And as a mentor, do you have any flexibility as to the OERs that you can use? I mean, can you design it, add content, for example, or is that
now the
an administrative job? You're asking.
Yeah, I would suggest kind of like leaving some of the material in place and maybe adding courses, and you could probably, in the order, you can change the order.
Right.
See, here's the orders, and you can change where they fall, and you put your new content in front, leave the old content there. See,
okay.
Just move this stuff around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and leave it there, unless of course it's all in error or the videos don't work anymore.
So if you are a mentor, and do you have students that enroll in the course? Or is it just pretty much whoever accesses it, they do it on their own, and there's really no way of tracking like the progress, what content they've seen and what they haven't seen?
Well, you can go here, right? You have to have triggers in order to get any kind of reports. So you give them small little assignments. Change, correct the sentence with projects or tests, and feedback forms. You can schedule things for them. You can do a variety of different types of things to have them go through hoops and trigger these reports over here.
So that you can see a list of students who are enrolled and what they've done or haven't done?
Yes, and what their progress is.
So are students assigned, do they enroll to a course per teacher, or, because I'm imagining like there are going to be a lot of people in the course itself, and so I'm not sure if I understand like how the students who enroll into the course, what you see from as a mentor. Like, are you mentoring all the students that enroll in the course? Is that the idea?
Okay.
I don't know if I'm explaining myself, but if you sign up as a mentor for a particular course, I assume you're going to see everybody who enrolls into the course, correct?
Yeah.
And so if you want to assign a test, you may or may not be speaking to all the students, right? I mean, I guess, I don't know.
Okay, here, let's take a look. All right, so this is the French course. And I haven't put a lot of triggers in there, but you see the overall, this is the people that have signed up.
Okay.
See? It actually goes more. There's almost 3,000 people signed up for the French course.
And that was my question. Like, you've got 3,000 people enrolled in a course, and some of them are going to be active, some are not.
Yeah. Right.
And
like this person was active here. But the thing is you don't know whether they're active unless you put tests in the place. And I haven't really put any tests. See, like if you go to the test for questions and projects, see, if you make more triggers, you can actually see, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. And I assume you have forums within this, so if you wanted to meet up, for example, in Google+, you could discuss it within this platform and meet up, or even sign up to your spreadsheet or whatever. But you can make the connection there within the platform. Okay.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
In fact, actually, when you go to how to learn the lesson, you could put in bold, contact me at my G+ profile. You put that right here, in red or whatever. I'm here to assist you. Or whatever you want to do, so you can have frequently asked questions that students learn, like the questions that you have. You start frequently asked questions.
And I'm assuming you can have more than one mentor per course, correct?
Oh yeah.
So you have different. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can send out feedback forms to all the students that are signed up.
Okay.
Or you can send an email to them and saying, hi, I'm the new mentor. Anybody want to do French in the next 3 weeks? Things like that.
Yeah, no, this makes sense. I'm starting to see the big picture here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think this looks good. I think again, and I'm talking from my perspective as an educator. It would be really useful to have courses that are assigned per hour, or at least even and perhaps some of these exams that you're referencing that are linked to your courses will have the equivalent of so many hours. Maybe is that?
Yeah.
That's the case. I'm not familiar with a lot of these external exams, but I guess that would be another I mean, it's not quite the same taking the course and then the exam, but I'm just thinking for my case, what they would consider, what they would accept as far as continuing education courses and what they wouldn't, because they're pretty strict in what they will take.
Right,
but,
right.
But
well, in this
yeah,
situation, when you do this, you could actually have drop boxes for voice. The University of, I can't think of the name right now, but I used to have a Dropbox on my French courses before I got this recorder. You could put a Dropbox right here, or you could make a quiz and ask them to read it, and then they Dropbox it, and it gets identified with that particular class.
okay.
It's basically an audio Dropbox by the University of Minnesota, I think.
Okay.
And that's a free to use. And so it keeps the teacher can use that. I could put that, as I said, right here next to the recorder. Or you can actually plug that into your test. It's an embedded code.
Okay.
And so you can have them read that, and after this first lesson, you can quiz them on what they learned. Okay.
All right.
Write some material down and says, okay, you have so many minutes to do it. And they drop it. And then you give them a grade. Or it automatically grades it if they write things down.
Okay.
Or they have multiple choice true false crossword puzzles or things of that nature where they have to answer it in French or Spanish. Because in the puzzles you have a lot of testing capabilities.
Do you have a lot of mentors who have, for example, they conduct either Skype discussions or Hangouts on air and bring in the discussions directly from the content of the
Yeah, that's what I would like.
Yeah.
I have like that one Mandarin, Rick. He's in his master's program right now in Paris for online education. He's got his bachelor's in English and French. He's native Mandarin. And he does G+ Hangouts in Mandarin, and he also kind of assists in the Mandarin course.
Okay. And is there an easy way for mentors to collaborate within? I mean, how does that work? Is it still outside of this platform, or is there a way of doing that within your website as far as just meeting up with other mentors that are maybe teaching the same types of courses?
Yeah, I need to have a more uniform as we start to build, where you have a kind of like a teacher's lounge.
Right.
And there, as I said, what I'm hoping to do is eventually, in the near future, of changing education around a little bit. Do you remember when you were a child and you had a field trip?
Yep.
You could probably remember everything about the field trip, but you can't remember what happened the day before, the day after the trip.
Right.
In class. Well, for 4,000 years, education has been in the classroom, mostly. And when Phoenix Online and other courses started online, 15, 20 years ago, everybody did in front of their desktop. They did in their bedroom, the study, library, Starbucks, whatever. Well, this is mobile technology. What's preventing you from taking your phone or your pad down to the tide pools and studying marine biology, or going to the art museum and studying art history, or going to the restaurant and ordering in Mandarin, and if you get it correct, your family gets 10% off the menu.
Right.
And you gamify it. So right now I'm in this. I've had already a discussion with the head of technology for the city of Los Angeles of turning Los Angeles into the first smart city.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, I think in taking that to the next level and looking at it from a mentoring standpoint or a teacher standpoint is also being able to make the practice of teaching more transparent
Yeah.
finding more opportunities for mentors to collaborate. And I think something like this, what you're proposing, what you're working on here, not only is obviously good for the teacher-student relationship, but also there are opportunities for mentors to jump on board, because just, I know, and I'm just thinking, like, if I were to volunteer for something like this, obviously one of the benefits is working with other students, but in addition to that would be also the opportunity to collaborate more with other practitioners, other teachers in the field, and to, so that you could further your own learning as a mentor. So I think that if you can achieve both of those, I think that's the right perspective to have.
Yeah, because I'm also not looking just at academics, but this fall going to be working together with Kevin Lyman to teach an Introduction to Music Business course. Kevin Lyman is the founder of the Warped Tour. The Warped Tour is the top 10 music festivals in the world, and he's going to teach you Introduction to Music Business. I can eventually see Brad Pitt teaching method acting, Beyonce teaching stage presence, and so now you have a 3rd and 4th grader that has a class after school where she's learning all of the various different things from somebody that she looks up to.
Right.
And you have Mrs. Green and Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Now, my material, about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, a NGO approached me. They liked my content, and they wanted to mirror it at universities in the third world in a terabyte drive. And their first project, which just launched this school year, was in Democratic Congo, which is primarily French. I gave him a bunch of resources in French language, and he did his work, and I had a hangout with him about 3 months ago to help him. And so eventually I'd like to be able to work with all of the various third world countries, providing mirrored content in their a 2 terabyte drive that connects to the teacher server that sends out a Wi-Fi signal to 10 laptops or desktops.
Sure.
So they don't have to have Wi-Fi and internet access. The teacher itself sends out the Wi-Fi signal.
Right.
And up to 10 users can use it streaming from the terabyte drive.
No, that sounds good. I mean, the whole idea of trying to produce content that's open, that's licensed under a Creative Commons license, which appears to be the case in your website, under a non-commercial license. I think this is this is what it's all about, really, is making education more equitable and giving those who don't have access to education the opportunity to learn from others. So I think this is an exciting project, and I appreciate your time to really go through some of your...
I want to show you one test. I want to show you one test to show you what it looks like.
Okay.
This is the GMAT. Are you familiar with that test?
Well, yeah, a little bit. I'm not familiar exactly with all the contents of it, but...
Yeah. This is the GMATs for going into graduate business school.
Okay.
MBA, MFA, and whatever. The clock starts ticking off immediately as you start it. These are data sufficiency questions and problem solving. These are retired questions from the GMAT.
Okay.
So you go through and answer the questions, multiple choice, true, false. And when you run out of time or you're finished, 38 questions. You had like an hour and how many minutes? An hour and 20 minutes to 30 minutes. It automatically grades it. Okay?
Okay.
So either finish it or run out of time, and it automatically grades it, lets you know what your results are. As soon as that's finished, you go to the next. And then you have the Khan Academy solving all all the questions you just worked on.
Okay.
So you come to the test with your tool chest and you do it, and then you can watch. You have more of an investment in the test. Now you watch Khan do it, and you might pick up a couple of more tips.
Right.
And it's all of the videos for that test. See right here. And then when you finish with that, you can go back and take the GMAT again, or go on to the next one, and there's 11 sets. Now, I have the same thing for the math SATs. I have the full retired questions from the SAT, timed. I don't have it in this one, because I've broken up the courses into in a way that it doesn't bog my server down. But when I go in, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, okay. This is my university courses, but if I go into my K through 12, and I have the SATs, so I will eventually have all of the preparation tests for entrance exams, or the LSAT, the MCAT, the GMAT.
Do you have any English proficiency standardized tests like the TOEFL or the TOEIC in your database? Michael, did you hear the question?
No, I didn't, because I'm on at Starbucks and it times out every so often, so I just.
Oh, okay. I asked if you had in your database any standardized proficiency English proficiency exams like the TOEFL or the TOEIC exam.
I have the CLEPS and this California State Standards Test.
Okay.
And materials.
Okay.
And I could track down the TOEFLs as well.
Because I think that would be helpful, either the TOEIC or TOEFL, or any other, or even the British exams like first certificate or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I have not just college credit, but I also have a professional preparations for the computer science. You know, for the Cisco CCNA 1, 2, 3, 4, A+, N+, LPI, and all those professional exams. So I have the materials for that.
Okay.
And like this is the SAT. Okay. This is the exam for the SAT. So I have an hour and 10 minutes. Then the same thing with the Khan Academy.
Okay.
And so what I do, Saul didn't put his videos with the test because he was afraid of copyright. Well, he was already violating the copyrights by putting it in the video. So I went back to the actual book, this one here, and looked at the copyrights. And as long as it's not for commercial, the College Board is a non-profit. They're really not interested in publishing per se. If you look at the cost of their books, it's really cheap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just wanted to cover the cost of printing them.
Well, this brings me to a question I had regarding your licensing. Let's say that a mentor, let's say, hooks up with a student or someone, an individual in Google Plus, but they met kind of through some of the content that you presented. In fact, maybe they're even taking the course that you offer on your website, which is under the non-commercial Creative Commons license. What if they choose to charge their fees to talk with them? Is that in violation of how they're using the course content in your website?
Yeah. The content itself, as long as there's no gatekeeper charging a tuition.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then it's not commercial.
Okay.
You know, if something pops up, if a a tutor says you can't get the information from World Mentoring Academy, he's violating my copyright. You know what I'm saying?
But as long as they give attribution, so for example, if I use some of the content from your website and I give you attribution, but I'm charging for them just to have a conversation with me about something, that's not you don't have a problem with that?
No problem there. See, now,
Okay.
Khan has no problem of his material being embedded in somebody else's website as long as they don't surcharge.
Right.
So let's say, for instance, you normally charge $30, right? And use Khan's material, teaching math, whatever, and you charge $40. He doesn't want you to charge $10 more for using the material.
Okay. Got it.
But you can use it for free.
Right.
And the student can
and
use
you could use it. You could use that content in a maybe face-to-face environment or even a live environment and charge them for those services that you're. Yeah.
Would normally charge.
Right.
It's just, in other words, consider us like a free textbook.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
And so that they don't have to pay for the textbook, but they do have to pay for your time.
Okay. Well, very good, Michael. Listen, I won't take up any more time. I know we've been at a little over an hour here, and I do appreciate the time. And your site is very interesting. I'm glad we had this opportunity to really learn more about your website. And I know for as far as I'm concerned, I'm interested in looking through a little bit more of your website and seeing, maybe checking out the Google spreadsheet that you have. And
if you could put if you could put your hours on the right, like office hours, and if you have class hours at university there, or if you're doing a hangout for languages or something like that.
Okay. And if I'd encourage you to, Michael, if you would, and the event that I created for today's talk in Google, if you want to list out any links there that you would like to add that are related to what we're talking about today, that would be great. Since this event will be linked to the TIL community in Google, that it'd be nice to have those all in one place. So if someone is going to watch this later, they have those links available. So But
how did you grow your community anyway?
Well, I just created it a couple years ago and just have been. I try to have periodic events like this, hangouts online, to try to meet up with other community members. But there hasn't been really one particular way or approach that I've used. It's just kind of I promote it as when I come across interesting information, I try to include it in the community, and through the live events over time, it's just kind of grown, slowly over time. So there's really, that's basically all I've done with this particular community, but I'm really trying to get more involvement. I'd be interested in having more live talks with others in the community, mainly in the area of language teaching and learning, and basically just trying to coordinate and talk with others in the field. And that's why I was asking a lot of questions about your website and mentoring and being able to network with others, because that's one of the main goals for this community, is trying to network and learn from others to keep our own practice as transparent as possible. So that's really the overall goal that I have for this particular community. And
now, how many members do you have now? Or
I'm sorry?
How many members do you have now? Because I don't have your...
it's around 1,200, 12 to 1,300, I think.
Yeah, that's a pretty good size.
So yeah, and it just kind of steadily grows. So we'll, hopefully we'll get to a point where more community members will be sharing, not just posting, which everyone's encouraged to do, but also through the live events, just kind of using the events, the hangouts on air, and complement that with some of the sharing of information that is currently going on in that community. So
I started this one in front of you right here, right?
I'm sorry?
You see the screencast?
Yes.
Okay. I have never done one of these before, so it's my first one.
Oh, okay.
And I might be making neophyte mistakes. I started it just like 2 weeks ago. So I did this. I have the the foreign language MOOC here, a link to that, which we just
Okay.
did. Spreadsheets right here, and then I made a Facebook group, and I pinned this to the top, and this is what people are writing on the sides. And I've broken
Okay.
it up, introduction, EU, in other words, European languages, Asian, African, and discussion and events and photos. I may add more along the line.
Right. Well, you're
And,
already more organized than I am. I tend to, the categories, I've been a little bit indecisive and over the years about exactly how to set that up. But include the link to this community in the event so we can try to get some traffic over to your community there. And, you know,
I'll continue to do it. At least we have it. I'm also having a difficult time getting Wikipedia to put World Mentoring Academy in.
Okay, I saw. In fact, I saw that. I saw you had a comment in your webpage. So
yeah, I asked if anybody could help, but I can't put anything in. They banned me.
Right.
Although when I first started Twitter, I was banned 3 times, kicked out 3 times before I finally figured it out.
You were banned in Twitter?
Yeah.
Because I heard Wikipedia is getting a little bit more difficult to have volunteers contribute. I don't know if that's true. I haven't contributed in a long time. I've contributed more to Wiki Educator myself as far as wikis go, but yeah, certainly post something in our community, and you know, I'll look at it. Maybe some others can look at it, and you can get some people.
Yeah,
to add.
I'll make I'll put it in a Google Doc so that people can edit it, and then somebody can put it to their sandbox. Because I do need to get, even though I've been around 2 years longer than Coursera, and the 35 other followers of Coursera, I still don't have a wiki page because I got what do you call it, mob ruled every time I try to do something, and I tried to do it very meekly, but it was very unclear how to start everything.
Yeah.
I'm right now in the process of getting this ban reversed. I could just as well start another email account, and they won't be the wiser.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't want to do that. I want to be honest.
Yeah.
A lot of those Wikipedia articles were all started by the individuals related to whatever the enterprise was.
Yeah.
The third-party thing is not going to happen.
Yeah, I tried it just seemed to me to be, I had problems too. I mean, I never really spent that much time worrying about it, but there was always something rejected or something. So I just pretty much stopped contributing or even worrying about Wikipedia. But like I said, Wiki Educator, definitely I've contributed a lot to that over the years and took part in courses, and you know, and I really like that community. If you're looking at just a wiki, and it might be something that you're interested in, posting something there in Wiki Educator, you know, it's something to consider because it's a very good, active, lively community, and they're doing a lot with online, open online education, open courseware, and trying to get universities. In fact, I think they have a consortium of different universities that they are trying to put together. In fact, they are putting together where they offer you know, online learning through universities. So it's an interesting project that they're working on. So you might take a look at.
But this Wiki Educator is not connected to Wikipedia.
No. I mean, it's the same platform they use, Wikimedia or whatever. But it's no, it's a different. This is Wayne McIntosh is the originator of Wiki Educator, and he's from, I think, New Zealand, and so he's got you know, a lot of history, a lot of time and investment, and a lot of backing for this project that he's had for years. And you can easily look up the information about where they're coming from. But this OER this university, this is a big project that you might find interesting because it's kind of in line with kind of what you're doing. So you might take a look at that.
All right.
All right. Well,
sounds good.
All right. Well, Michael,
I'll,
thanks again, and we'll
all
be in
right.
touch here. And anytime you want to get together and chat about something, let me know, and we can certainly do that.
Okay. Cool enough.
Cool. All right. Talk
Bye,
to you later.
peace.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.